Hello and welcome to the Wings Boss Ladies Show. I'm Jacqueline Jones, your host, and it is a pleasure to introduce our incredible guest today. We have Marie Callaway with the Callaway Group Real Estate. Welcome, Marie.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So, Marie, tell us a little bit about your history in real estate and how you got started.
Sure. Well, let's see here. I moved to Colorado from Canada about 25 years ago. And when we were purchasing a house, I negotiated heavily with the land developer, home builder that was there. And he offered me a job right afterward. And mostly because I have a deep background from doing interior design back in Canada. I had a deep background in home building and sort of the methodologies of new home sales. So they offered me a position, and I dug in and started selling real estate. That was up in Longmont, and since then I've moved to Denver and sort of expanded my repertoire of real estate sales.
Terrific, terrific. And you've spent a lot of years in that design build in that high-end luxury market. Tell us about working in that market. And I know that takes a special skill. So do you want to speak to that at all?
Sure. Well, you're right. New home sales is quite a bit different than resale in residential real estate. New home sales it's very visionary. You spend a lot of time drafting up plans and envisioning how beautiful a house could be, and how do you solve for challenges that a home buyer may need a particular floor plan or layout that expresses their personality or their lifestyle. And so we're really in new home sales, looking to design product that is going to serve them well. And the highest compliment you can have in new home, custom new homes, is to have a homeowner who stays in their house for a long, long time. Because then you know you've really designed the house that fits their lifestyle. So in that capacity, I connect homeowners with home builders, with designers, with architects, people who can really build their dream. And it's particularly fun to do that in the luxury market.
Yes, I'm sure it must be. So many of your clients, you've worked with them over the years. Some, unfortunately, may have not, their marriage may have ended in divorce, or they've had a change or moved down or moved up. Do you want to speak to the variety, not only in the luxury market, but all the way through, that you help people in their lives?
Yeah, well, the most common attribute for people needing real estate is change. They've experienced change in their life. They've got a new baby. They've got a baby who is graduating from college. They've got, mom and dad who need to move into the house, and they now need a multi-generational house. Each phase of our lives requires a different response with real estate. So it's really fun to experience that along the road with people, and to really serve their needs along the road.
Mm-hmm. Marie, what makes you different from other realtors?
So probably the most important aspect is listening carefully to what it is that is a challenge for the home buyer or for the home seller. What is the problem that we're trying to solve? Because I really can't serve someone unless I know what obstacle or what opportunity that we're trying to accomplish. So listening intently to what they're saying, and also listening to what's going on around them, being aware of their financial circumstances or their family circumstances or career opportunities. Those are all aspects that blend into crafting a path to find the right home.
And I know when you find that right home, having this depth of information, and I know you go into it because you really care about your clients, but that also helps you in the negotiating aspect of that transaction, when the transaction happens, because there's always that end point of the transaction. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So negotiation is all about finding the highest and best solution for both sides of the table.
I love that you said that.
In the buyer's case, it may be that they really need to move into a house quickly. It may not be as important that the price is the key thing, or it may be that they're leaving behind a house where they've sold all of their furniture. So I'm just negotiating a transaction right now where the seller's like, you know what, it's a favor to me if you'll buy all of my furniture, because they're moving into a much smaller place, and the scale and scope of the furniture doesn't work anymore. So in that transaction, it really helps for me to understand what is happening with the buyer and the seller, so that I can craft a solution that works really well for both of them. The idea is not, in negotiation, the idea is not to be combative. It is to find the solution that's really going to work best for both parties.
I love that, when you said the highest solution for both.
Yeah.
And that's key. So I do think that's a tremendous difference that you bring to the table. So what have you learned, Marie, what have you learned about being a business owner in the last 25 years? Any tips or strategies you would give entrepreneurs or somebody going into business today?
Let's see, there's so many things, right?
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about having your own business is that you have the ability to exercise your creativity. It's all problem solving or opportunity solving. How do you take best advantage of the opportunities that lay ahead of you? It's important that you enter that business with a really great baseline understanding of the tools that you have available to you. But I think the thing that's the most fun about having your own business is that creativity. Never the same day twice. And there are times where you can reflect and go, oh, I remember I was in this kind of a circumstance, I don't know, 10 years ago. But I might just solve that problem, learning what I did from that experience. I might just solve this problem in a slightly different way. That worked out good, but here's an even better way. So it is, it's just honing your skills, and it's an adventure. It is lots of fun. It keeps your brain
moving. And I think what you brought up was an excellent point, that you really, if you're in your own business, you're in a problem-solving business. No matter if you're a consultant, if you had a product, you're giving a service, you are solving problems along the way. Yes. And as you're growing, there's going to be challenges and so forth. So look at it as an opportunity of creativity that you can bring to it. Look at how you can hone your skills. Look at how you can bring new dimensions into your business through creativity and opportunity. And always remembering that there's new opportunities out there with every challenge that you face.
Also, I think putting a little time into your business, and over the years you come to realize that you're not an island, that there's always other individuals out there that you can lean on who would be so glad to be able to help you out. Sometimes people feel badly to ask for help, but I try and turn it around as a gift, that if you allow somebody else the opportunity to help you, it enriches them and it enriches you, and it can be really humbling, to receive that help, and I guess it's love in the form of help. So it's really important to have a great network of people around you who have diverse businesses, who have diverse points of view, and watching other women in business, particularly how they resolve problems, it's interesting to note that, because it gives you a clue to how you might resolve other issues that you might be having.
Yeah. And so really building that network of professionals around you in like in like-minded businesses or very different businesses, but building those relationships. I think you touched on a key point that is not often touched on, is don't be afraid to ask for help. And as women, so often we think that we should know it all, that we should be able to do it all, that we have to be perfect, that we have to present ourselves in a certain way. But you've just cleared the slate on that. I think that is such sage and sound advice, and what a great tip for everybody watching today to realize it's okay to ask for help, and to build that network and reach out. So
and you'll be better for it.
yeah. And touching on that in reaching out, one of the things that you do so beautifully, Marie, is build relationships. And I know that you do that not only with just, people and your network, but just share a little bit about, why that's important to you.
So over the years, I have had the benefit of a lot of coaches, a lot of real estate coaches and business coaches. What I've learned is that relationships don't just happen by accident. You really have to have a concerted, organized plan for how you're going to maintain and nourish these relationships. And it isn't just that you happen to go for a beer on Saturday night with them. It is that you do have to have some organization to it, that you remain conscious of when is their birthday. Like you don't just remember when their birthday is. You need to have a system in place to remember, that it's on your calendar, and what are you going to do about that a week ahead of time? Or so those kinds of organizational things. I happen to be very fortunate to have an assistant who just rocks and is able to keep me on point. But it is really important to. It may seem like random connections, but if I know and value someone, they're on my VIP list. I want to make sure that I don't miss them. Those are the things that really are, I think, foundational to a business that is a referral-based business or a networking type of business. You've really got to love on people and maintain those relationships.
Yeah. But you do it, and I think, again, what an important point for everybody listening, in building relationships, make it intentional.
Yes.
Have a system and a strategy that goes with it, that you keeps you consistent with it. And I think, that shows in your work and shows in your success in what you do. And I also know that you serve clients not just in one little niche, which is that high-end luxury or that design to build market, which is very specialized and you've been extremely successful at. But you also work with clients all across the board, from that first-time buyer, buying their first little townhome or condo. Speak to that range, and here in North Denver, what areas do you serve your clients in?
So the beautiful thing is that the skills that I've developed over the years in dealing with luxury real estate are so very applicable to all price ranges. So it's wickedly fun to hang out with folks who are just buying their first house and figuring out how they're going to develop their real estate portfolio and in conjunction with their financial portfolio. And those are oftentimes the client that I might serve as a luxury buyer or a seller, it's their kids or their friends' kids or their, anywhere in between that I help out. I'm particularly knowledgeable about the North Denver area, Westminster, Broomfield, points north all the way to Loveland, to Fort Collins, and all the way down to Cherry Creek. It's really more about the relationship. There are pockets of Denver that I really don't know, and in those circumstances, I'm going to pass that along. I'm going to find the right person to pass along to, so that we have that expertise. If it's necessary to have the specific geographic knowledge. In many cases, it's not necessary, but
yeah. And so, and that just speaks to who you are, that you're looking to really serve your clients and making sure that you're the right fit for them as well at the right time, rather than just taking a transaction and selling. So I think that's just a beautiful point about who you are and how you work, Marie. If our viewers today want to get in touch with you, what's the best way they can do that?
Well, Jacqueline, the best way to reach me is on our office line at 303-437-6999, or you can check us out on our website at callawaygroup.com, or my email is marie@callawaygroup.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Great. Marie, thank you so much for being here today. We are Wings Boss Ladies, and I'm your host, Jacqueline Jones. We thank you for being with us. We know you have choices and appreciate your viewership. Please subscribe and like us. We're Wings Boss Ladies. You can find us here and on several channels. I'm Jacqueline Jones, your host of the Wings Boss Ladies.